Ladies and gentlemen, very interesting problem here. We have if United States import increased 20% and export decreased 10% during a certain year, the ratio of import to export at the end of the year was how many times the ratio at the beginning of the year? All right? So you have to read carefully. These are questions given on the SAT test, for example, and other tests, of course. Okay? So now the answers are here. We have 12/11, B is 4/3, C is 11/8, D is 3/2, and then E is 2. So how can we put this thing together? Now, we're talking about import and export. All right, so that's the first two things that we need to keep in mind. And then we're talking about the end of the year that we're doing, our report. So, but what do we have first? The imports increased to 20%. So that means what? So if they increase 20%, so that means, let's say at the end we have 100%, okay, of import plus, because increase means 20% of import, what would that give us? That would give us 120%, which is just the same thing as if we reduce it, so that's 120 divided by 100, that would give us what? So 120 divided by 100, that would give us 1.2, okay, of import at the end of the year, okay? So end of the year, that's what we have. Now, so at the end of the year also, again, what's happening? The export decreased 10%. So export decreased 10%. So if we also have 100% of export, so E minus 10% of export, that would give us what? 90% export. So we're putting these into perspectives here. So now, this one also is 90, okay, divided by 100, which is what? 0.9 export, okay? Now, what are we looking for? So at the end of the year was how many times the ratio at the beginning of the year. So how many times the ratio of import to export. So we have import to export ratio. So that means that's a fraction. So the import is what? Is 1.2. Okay, for import over 0.9 of the export. We all good so far? So what's happening here? So we can reduce them. So these are decimal numbers. To reduce them, we can just move the decimal place 1 and 1 to the right so that we can make them whole numbers. So if you move it once, so that gives you 12 import. And then if you move this one also once, okay, that will give you what? 9 export. So that will give us what? So now we can reduce them. What's the number that can go into 12 and 9 evenly? Okay, we have 3. So 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 3 goes into 9 3 times. So it's 4/3 of import over export. All right? So this is what we are looking at. And what's the answer here? So that would be B, and this is our correct answer. So this is how we deal with such a problem. Take your time, read carefully, but on the SAT test, it goes faster. All right? So I'm just going slowly so that we can understand what's really transpiring. But most of the time, once you are ready, after preparation for the test, you should go faster than how we went. Okay?